Sachita Prabhuji, can you give a call, missed call? People should join in time. It's already late.
Sure, Prabhuji, I'm doing it.
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जसोदा नंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज यमुना तीर वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जसोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी
यमुना तीर
जय जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन भगवान की श्री श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की राधा श्याम सुंदर भगवान की ओके you can do the Mangalacharan and start.
हरे कृष्ण ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी भूतेर्महदेः मा पुरो विभूषेते यदमूषु पूरुषः भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडशात्मकः सोऽलङ्कृशिष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे सोऽलङ्कृशिष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे हरे कृष्ण share screen. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, share your screen. You are a co-host. Just cancel it and try share again.
I am unable to share.
You are co-host, Mataji. So try again. See, the share button should be there.
Only the cancel button is highlighting. Share.
Which cancel button? Just share it. I mean, the things there. Okay, let me take it again. Okay. Now you try again. I took it out again. Give it. I think maybe your internet is slow too today, looks like. Can you hear, Sugopi? Hare Krishna Mataji. Can somebody hear Sugopi Mataji?
We
No,
can hear.
Prabhu, we don't.
We can hear you.
We can hear
No,
you,
no,
but
no,
not Mataji.
no, Sugopi.
No. We cannot hear.
Mataji, probably your internet is gone. Can you?
I cannot hear you. Hear her.
Yeah, let's wait for her. Swachista Prabhuji, can you, because you cannot hear her, can you call her?
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Sorry, sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, I think she's back now. Okay, unmute yourself, Mataji. Okay, what happened now? Are you able to see or no? No, unmute yourself. You're muted. Yeah.
Now it's coming host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Okay, you are too Sugopi. That's the reason, maybe.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. You're too Sugopi.
Yeah. Okay, the other one went away.
Yeah, now you do it. Even though if you don't get co-host, you should be able to see the, yeah. Okay, now make it full screen. Yeah. Go ahead, Mataji. That's good. We can see your screen now. Hare Krishna. Mataji, unmute yourself. You're muted. You're talking. Okay, so you join in. Yeah, you join in your phone. Join in another phone. Why you cannot unmute? Okay, yeah, that's the better thing. You can speak now, Mataji. Can you say something?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
The other one you can speaker as well as mute. Yeah, can you speak now?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Go ahead.
Mataji, if you log in from two places, then it's going to give you the echo. I see you are logging from 2 times. So that's the reason.
Okay. Now is it okay?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Can you all hear? Can you all hear?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Maharaja Rahugana meets Jada Bharata. King Rahugana and his men forcibly engaged Jada Bharata to carry his palanquin. Jada Bharata walked carefully to avoid harming ants, making the palanquin uneven. The king angrily chastised him, but Jada Bharata calmly gave spiritual instructions. The king realized his mistake, repented, and begged forgiveness for offending Jada Bharata. So last class we saw how Jada Bharata was saved by goddess Kali, and then after that this incident is happening where Jada Bharata is requested, he is forcibly engaged in carrying the palanquin. So first 2 slokas, Jada Bharata was forced to carry Rahugana's palanquin. Out of compassion to the ants, he moved erratically. And then next 2 slokas, the bearers told Rahugana that it was Jada Bharata causing the problem. Rahugana's sarcasm, you must be fatigued and old. Then Rahugana's harsh words, are you dead or mad? I am your master and will punish you. And 9-10 slokas, I am a soul detached from the body. Body designation doesn't apply to the soul. Material positions like that of a master and servant are only conventional. 13th sloka, there is no gain in punishing a self-realized man or madman. 14-15, Bharata continued to carry the palanquin. Finally, Rahugana pays respects and begs forgiveness. Who are you? I am afraid of offending the Brahmanas. 18-20, please explain your words. What is the most secure shelter in this world? Why are you wandering in disguise? Although the soul is different from the body, it appears fatigued, just like milk in a pot becomes hot because of fire. 23rd sloka, it's a king's duty to punish wrongdoers. 24 and 25, please be merciful, otherwise my offense out of false prestige will destroy me. So initially, Jada Bharata is a great devotee. King Rahugana couldn't understand that. Later on, when Jada Bharata started speaking, Rahugana understood that Jada Bharata is an exalted devotee. Then he sought forgiveness, and then he repented for his mistake. King Rahugana, the ruler of Sindhu and Savira, was in the ways to Kapilashrama. So we can see how Rahugana is spiritually inclined. He is a pious and he is going on to Kapilashrama. His palanquin carriers, who were engaged forcibly, needed an extra bearer. So they saw the great devotee Jada Bharata. So we can see how Jada Bharata is an exalted devotee. So in previous life, he was a deer, and then he is remembering his past lives, and he is very much determined in this life he is just acting like a dumb and deaf. But this exalted devotee is being mistreated by now, like earlier also, by the dacoits and then by his brothers, and now this palanquin carriers and the king. They forcibly engaged him to carry the palanquin, although he was not fit for such a work. While walking, Jada, being compassionate to the ants, checked every 3 feet not to step on them. Because Jada, he understands the philosophy clearly that Suhridam Sarvadeinam. He should be merciful to all the living entities. Whatever he has knowledge, he is practicing the knowledge. Due to this, palanquin was so because since he is compassionate to the ants, he don't want to step on them. Due to this, the palanquin was shaking, and the agitated king asked the reason. The palanquin carriers became afraid of punishment. So they spoke to the king that we are not negligent and are discharging your orders properly. But this new man does not walk swiftly, and therefore we are unable to carry the palanquin with him. So Rahugana is started to criticize. Rahugana, already he is very knowledgeable. He is going to Kapilashram. He has served many elderly sages, Upasita Vriddhaha. But now his mind is covered by the mode of passion, and he became angry due to his nature as a king. Thus he spoke angrily and sarcastically. He is telling, you must be fatigued from carrying the palanquin alone for so long and for so far. He has just now started, but king is telling like this. And Jada is young and stout, but the king is telling that you must be old and unhealthy, without strong limbs. Are your fellow carriers not cooperating with you? Now Jada is responding. He was unaffected because his spiritual power is covered like fire covered by ashes. He has no bodily conception of I and mine. He has realized his spiritual identity completely. So he didn't speak anything. He continued carrying the palanquin. When Rahugana noticed his palanquin still shaking, he spoke angrily. Are you dead despite the life within your body? Don't you know that I am your master and you are disregarding me? You are mad. For this disobedience, I shall punish you so that you will come to your senses. Actually, Rahugana doesn't have any right to punish Jada. So even though all Jada and all were his citizens, he doesn't have any right to chastise them. Rahugana, so we can see how Rahugana is under the bodily conception of being a king. Naradeva Abhimanam. He is influenced by passion and ignorance, mad, Madena, and he is considering himself learned, Pandita Maninam. Unaware of the conduct of great yogis, he chastised Jada. We can clearly see he is not able to understand who is Jada. But on the other hand, Jada is a powerful devotee, dear abode of the Lord. His heart is dear abode of the Lord and self-realized. He is free from pride, Vigatasmayaha, and he is friend of all living entities, Sarva Bhuta Sukritatma. Therefore, he smiled and spoke as follows. So we can see how in Nectar of Instruction, 6th verse, दृष्टैः स्वभावजनितैर्वपुषश्च दोषैः न प्राकृतत्वमिह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत् गङ्गाम्बसं न खलु बुद्बुदपेन पङ्कैः ब्रह्मद्रवत्वमपगच्छति निरधर्मैः. Being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. And in that Nectar of Instruction purport, Srila Prabhupada says, unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. We know this famous song, Ye Bara Karuna Karo, Tumara Hridoye Sada, Govinda Vishram, Govinda Kohena Mora, Vaishnava Param. Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. We can see from the previous chapter, 9th chapter, after his father's death, Jadabharata's 9 stepbrothers stopped trying to educate him, thinking he was dull and ignorant. Though learned in the Vedas and engaged in fruitive rituals, they lacked devotion and couldn't recognize Jadabharata's exalted spiritual position. Because his body was dirty, his spiritual effulgence and knowledge were covered, just as the splendor of a valuable gem is covered by dirt. And also, again, so he didn't speak anything. Jadabharata, he didn't speak anything to his brothers because they are not in a position to understand, first of all. And now, when the dacoits brought Jadabharata before goddess Kali and raised a chopper to kill him, goddess Kali became furious and attacked the offenders. She cut off their heads, drank their blood, and played with their heads, showing her terrifying power. So when an envious person commits an offense before a great personality, he is always punished in the way mentioned above. So here also, Jadabharata, he was remaining silent. He didn't act. Only goddess Kali saved him. Krishna saved through goddess Kali. Now we will see Jadabharata's response to King Rahugana. Since Rahugana is pious, so Jadabharata knew he is a king. So Jadabharata is compassionate to the king and he is trying to enlighten King Rahugana. I am a soul detached from the body. He doesn't want to express himself. He doesn't want to show himself that he knows all the philosophy. He is compassionate to the king and he wants to enlighten the king. I am a soul detached from the body. Your words are actually true, not sarcastic. The Lord, path of travel and destination belong to the body and not to me. For I am a spirit soul. Being detached from the body, I am not fatigued carrying the palanquin. Bodily designations do not apply to the soul. Fatness, thinness, bodily and mental distress, thirst, hunger, fear, disagreement, desires for material happiness, old sleep, attachment for material possessions, anger, lamentation, illusion, and bodily identification are all transformations of the material covering of the spirit soul. These things affect a person absorbed in bodily conception, but I am free from all such conceptions. This is the case everywhere because everything material has its beginning and end. Now, today, you are a king and I am your servant. But tomorrow, these positions might change. Other than convention, I see no distinction between master and servant. Who is the master and who is the servant? Nevertheless, if you think you are a king, what can I do for you? What will you gain by punishing me? Even if I am mad, your punishment will be like beating a dead horse or like grinding flour. Punishment doesn't cure madness. He tolerated Rahugana's harsh words and replied to them like this. He never considered himself a great devotee, but he agreed to suffer the results of his past karma. And he is thinking that, okay, thinking in this way, he peacefully began to carry the palanquin as before. Now, after hearing the philosophy from Jada Bharata, Sachapi Pandaveya Sindhu Sauvirapatihi Tattvajinnyasayam Samyak Shraddhaya Adhikrita Adhikara Tathridaya Granthi Mochanam Vijavacha Ashrutya Bahuyoga Grantha Sammatam Tvaraya Avaruhya Sirasa Padamulam Upasrutaha Shamapayan Vigatan Tripadevasmaya Uvacha. Sukadeva Goswami is continuing, O best of the Pandu dynasty, Maharaja Parishit, the king of the Sindhu and Sauvida states, Maharaja Rahugana had great faith in discussions of the absolute truth. Being thus qualified, he heard from Jada Bharata that philosophical presentation which is approved by all scriptures. So Jada Bharata didn't speak anything whimsically. He spoke the philosophy which is approved by Bahu Yoga Grantha Sammatam, which is approved by all scriptures on the mystic yoga process and which slackens the knot in the heart. His material conception of himself as a king was thus destroyed. He immediately descended from his palanquin and fell flat on the ground with his Sirasa Padamulam, Upasritaha Shamapayan, fell flat on the ground with his head at the lotus feet of Jada Bharata in such a way that he might be excused for his insulting words against the great Brahmana. He then prayed. So, since Rahugana had faith in the topic of the absolute truth, he was qualified to hear that philosophy, which is approved by all scriptures and slackens the knot in the heart. He gave up his pride as a king and fell flat at the feet of Jada Bharata, begging for forgiveness. Who are you? You move about covered and unknown to others. Are you a learned Brahmana? Are you a liberated saint like Dattatreya? Whose disciple are you? Where do you live? Have you come to benefit us? Are you not Kapila or Narayana? So King Rahugana, he has become very humble since he is going to Kapila Ashrama. On the way, he is meeting Jada Bharata. So he is accepting Jada Bharata as a representative of Kapila Dev, Lord Kapila Dev. He is speaking further. I am not afraid of Indra's thunderbolt. Naham Vishanke Suraraja Vajran. Na Trayaksha Sulan. Na Yamasya Dandat. I am not afraid of Lord Shiva's trident, Yamaraja's punishment. Nagnarka Somanila Vitta Pastrat. I am not afraid of fire, scorching sun, the moon, wind, or Kuvera's weapons. Sanke Brisham Brahma Kulavamana. Yet I am very afraid of offending the Brahmanas. You are bereft of all material association. Asangaha. He doesn't have any asat sangha. Apparently dull-witted, Jadavan, in full knowledge and powerful. Vijnana Virya. He has knowledge with realization. So he is called as Vijnana Virya. Why are you wandering around like a dullard? I am unable to understand your words about yoga. Kindly explain them to me. Aham cha yogeshvaramatma-tattva vidam muninam paramam gurum vai prashtum pravrittah kim iharanam tat sakshat harim jnana kalavatirnam. I consider your good self the most exalted master of mystic power. You know the spiritual science perfectly well. You are the most exalted of all learned sages. And you have descended for the benefit of all human society. You have come to give spiritual knowledge. You are a direct representative of Kapila Deva. Sakshat Harim, the incarnation of God and the plenary portion of knowledge. I am therefore asking you, O spiritual master, what is the most secure shelter in this world? Now we can see how King Rahugana, he is repentant and he sought forgiveness, and then he is accepting Jadabarada as his spiritual master, and he is seeing Jadabarada as a direct representative of Kapiladev. You are a master of yoga, the best guru of all learned sages, and a direct representative of Lord Kapila. What is the most secure shelter in this world? Are you wandering in disguise to examine the people of this world? Loka nirikshanartham. How can an attached householder, grihanubandha, blind to spiritual knowledge, andha buddhihi, understand the movements of yoga masters? So King Rahugana, he is accepting that he is blind to spiritual knowledge. He is a householder. He couldn't understand. The soul appears fatigued. Although the soul is different from the body, the soul appears to be fatigued due to bodily labor. One cannot carry water with a false pot, so one must accept the conventional world. By heating a pot, milk in the pot becomes hot and rice within the milk gets cooked. Similarly, due to bodily pains and pleasures, the senses, mind and soul are affected. So Rahugana, whatever according to his understanding, he is speaking. Even if the king's position is temporary and conventional, it is his duty to rule and punish the disobedient citizens, and thus teach the citizens to obey the state laws. Punishing is not useless if one is engaged in one's duty as ordered by the Lord. A king engaged in this dharma of punishing the citizens worships the Lord and vanquishes all his sins. So here Rahugana is arguing, so I am not wrong to punish my citizens. So in that purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, if King Rahugana has engaged Jadabharata in Lord's service, then it is fine. But he engaged Jadabharata in his own service to carry the palanquin for himself. So Jadabharata in further chapters he will tell, it is a great sin that king is engaging his citizens in carrying him. So we can see the summary of the arguments happened. You appear fatigued by carrying the palanquin alone for a long time and distance. For that, Jadabharata is responding, I am a spirit soul, detached from the body. The load and fatigue belong to the body, not to me. Since Rahugana is knowledgeable, he can understand. So Jadabharata is speaking like this. The soul appears fatigued due to bodily labor, like milk and rice in a pot experience the heat of fire. Next, you are old, not very strong and stout. Jadabharata is replying, bodily decisions like fatness, thin. Are you dead despite the life within your body? Everything material has been end. Do you know that I am your master? The master-servant distinction is temporary and merely conventional. But it is a king's duty to rule and punish disobedient citizens. You are mad. For this disobedience, I shall you. I say, even if I were mad, punishment is of no use. Engaging in one's occupational duty vanquishes sins. So Rahugana wants further enlightenment. He had accepted Jadabharata as his guru. So since he is posing further questions and Jadabharata will answer. Now we can see being you possessing body. Madena, I have offended you. I pray that you glance upon me with your mercy. so that I can be relieved from the sin of neglecting devotee. Sat avadhyanam amhaha. You are the friend of the Lord, who is the friend of all. There is no loss or gain for you due to my insult. But because of this offense, Mahat Vimanat. Actually, if we want to get liberated, we have to do Mahat Seva, serve pure devotees. But here he had offended Mahat Vimanat. Though I may be as strong as Lord Shiva, I will be vanquished. So Rahugana is fully repentant. We can see this song, Haristane aparade, Tare Harina, Tumastane aparade, Nahi paritra. The holy name delivers one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, there is no means of deliverance. So this point we can see clearly from Ambarish Maharaj pastime. Now we can see what all Prabhupada's points from this chapter. Rahugana considered himself king and chastised Jada in so many unwanted ways. He is completely in bodily conception. But Jada, who is beyond bodily conception, did not become angry. Instead smiled and began to deliver to King Rahugana. We can see how Rahugana is in Rajoguna and Jada is in Sattva. And practice of austerity and penance is meant for understanding the distinction between the body and the soul, and how the soul can be unaffected by the pleasures and pains of the body. And Prabhupada repeatedly mentions how the devotee is humble, prideless, he is Suhridam Sarvadehina, he never thinks he is a Paramahamsa, he never accuses the Lord for putting him in distress condition, takes reversals as Lord's mercy. We can see how Jada, when he was King Maharaja Bharat, he was a great devotee in a Bhava stage, but he got birth as a deer. And then now again he has to take another birth. But Jada never accused the Lord for putting him in distress condition. He took the reverses as Lord's mercy. Now we can see Prabhupada is comparing the modern day politicians and Raja Rishis. Maharaja Rahugana knew the purpose of life. Therefore, when Jada put the philosophy of life before him, he immediately appreciated it. At the present moment, high government officials are ignorant of the values of life, and when saintly persons endeavor to broadcast the Vedic knowledge, the so-called executives do not offer their respectful obeisances, but try to obstruct the spiritual propaganda. And in one purport, Prabhupada is telling how the Mayavada philosophy explains this phenomenal world to be false, but Vaishnava philosophers do not agree. Our Prabhupada has told us utility is the principle. They know that the phenomenal world is a temporary manifestation, but it is not false. A water pot is made of earth and is temporary. Actually, there is no water pot. There is simply earth. However, as long as the water pot can contain water, we can use it in that way. It cannot be said to be absolutely false. Now, Jada Prabhupada is mentioning in his purport, saintly people like Jada do not speak ordinary words. Whatever they say is approved by great yogis and those advanced in spiritual life. That is the difference between ordinary people and saintly people. The listener must also be advanced to understand the words of such exalted, spiritually advanced people as Jada. Analogies. We are gathered together like straws floating in the waves of an ocean. Straws that are inevitably separated by the laws of the waves. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that all men and women are floating like straws on the waves of material nature. If they come to the understanding that they are the eternal servants of Krishna, they will put an end to this floating condition. And in another analogy, we can see how only if we have attachment, we will feel. It can be said that a person sitting in his car is certainly different from his car. But if there is a damage to the car, the owner of the car, being overly attached to the car, feels pain. Actually, the damage done to the car has nothing to do with the car's proprietor. But because the proprietor has identified himself with the interest of the car, he feels pleasure and pain connected with it. Final tips and takeaways. I have started exploring how the instructions by great personalities are working on different levels of devotees. How, like Kapila Dev enlightening Mother Devahuti. Now Jada Bharata to King Rahugana, and Narada Muni to different devotees. How Narada Muni punished, he has to punish and then Nalakuvera and Manigriva. So he couldn't give direct knowledge to them. And Prachina Barhishat also we saw in the previous canto. And this one tip, like this 7.5.23 to 24 purport is very, very important. How just by hearing Jadabharata's philosophy, Shravanam is so important. Shrinvatam Svakata Krishnaha Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridyantasto hi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhrutsatam. So hearing from pure devotees about Krishna Katha, it will purify one's heart. And we can see in first canto, few slokas, how this Shravanam process is so important. And it is explained very minutely in this purport. And there are some remedies given for aparadas also. Like chanting of 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, and then reading one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, worshipping Saligram Shila. So this purport is so important. And I want to be more familiar with nectar of instruction verses and translations so that I can apply in my devotional practice. Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, very nice. So you can unshare and devotees can unmute and ask questions, reflections. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for presenting this wonderful presentation. You covered so many aspects of this chapter. 2 points that stuck to me, kind of reflection. One is the king has to be, taking the decision whether they are.
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry.
Hare
I
Krishna.
left from this meeting.
Can you hear me,
Unable to
Mataji?
hear.
Can you hear me, Mataji?
Yeah, you can stop share.
Thank you, Mataji.
You can stop share. Okay, that's good. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Go ahead, Astasaki, one more time because he was busy.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mataji, for presenting very well this chapter, your wonderful sloka recitation, and then you gave really deep thought on this chapter. Two items that stuck to my mind is one is that the king has to take the responsibility to punish the his people in the kingdom to make sure that the dharma is followed, right? So it could be not favorable, or it may be looked like nowadays, people are politically correct instead of correcting the error that has been done by people who are living in that country, right? The second thing that stuck to me is your beautiful, wonderful recitation of the nectar of instruction. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, nicely done. Thank you for reciting the slokas. Very nicely you are reciting.
Thank you, Puji.
Anybody else?
I am so sorry for the technical issues. It's really Krishna's. Like I'm trying to do my best, but something is happening.
Yeah. Sometimes something doesn't work. Material world is never done.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, I think the presentation was very well done, and your preparation of the slides, and of course, the citation of the verses was out of the world. I think one moment I thought like I'm in the professional lecture, professional company. And I felt like, oh my God, this recitation is so important, like, and makes the whole presentation looks very different and very attractive. So thank you for doing that. One question I have is, yeah, because now we know that Jada Bharat is or was basically he's a pure devotee of the Lord. But at that time, I don't think anybody knew that Jada Bharat is a pure devotee of the Lord. So the chastisement done by Rahugana could be right at that moment, but anybody can, his position, like we were in his position, we would have made the same mistake. Because today also we find there are pure devotees, and sometimes we don't even recognize them, and we remain casual, and until they speak or say something, then only we realize, oh my God, we made a mistake. So how would you take care of this situation? Like this can happen to us also anytime.
That is the doubt I also have, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
Actually, I touched the same Mataji last week after the class because we are in a position to serve sometimes sannyasis and all, right? But we couldn't understand their behavior sometimes. So, and I don't have any realization on this, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
But I sincerely prepared this chapter so that one day at least I could understand pure devotees' behavior. Theoretically, I am understanding the verse sixth verse of NOI, but every time when you know devotees, pure devotees, I know like how to behave. I don't know, Prabhuji.
Okay, but yeah, maybe believers and probably want to share some. Yeah.
I think if you read also in Brahma Samhita at the end, Krame Krame Bhavet Prema, and Brahma is saying the mature state of devotion comes after practices and following the regulative principles. So it has been said, if you do 100 horse sacrifice, then you become Indra. So why not? He said only 1 horse sacrifice. You already get it. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time you become, by doing 100 horse sacrifice, Aswamedh Yajna, then you become kind of a renowned stage. If you don't, still you become Indra. That's the stage you become Indra, means you learn renunciation. Now, similarly, if you perform 100 lifetimes of a ideal householder life or ideal one, then you become Prajapati. Then you become a ideal 100 lifetimes of a sannyasi, then you attain to Brahmaloka. So why it is saying you do so much of things? So that means that God needs practices from us. Just like when Narad Muni saw Lord Vishnu in his previous life, the son of a maid servant, then Lord Vishnu vanished after a few seconds. Then Narad Muni was searching for it. Then he gave a divine revelations that your austerity and your maturity is not good enough, sufficient enough to behold me all the time. So that means the Lord wants us to come to that state. So just Mataji mentioned, right? Jada Bharat, he was king, he became a deer, again he became a son of a Brahmin, then he went back to Godhead after that. So from our side, we just need to have patience. The behavior of others, what gain is us for us, right? If somebody is not or accusing us or doing something, so what gain is there? I go in my own path, which is following the order and command of our spiritual masters and acharyas. That's more important. Make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So,
Thank
and
you.
one more point, Bhagavatam is refines our behavior, right? So we have to keep on repeatedly studying Bhagavatam. Is that also it will purify us, as you said. We
Yes,
need
yes.
purification.
The more he said before compiling the whole thing, Brahma said that I giving you the statement after I read 3 times. So that means he has to also go through several times of repetition, then only come to a conclusion. So how can we learn Bhagavatam by just reading one time? That's our mundane eyes purification. Then you go read mental purification. Then you go a chitta purification, consciousness purification. Then only you will able to behold the message, what is they are talking about. So there are many times we should not be worried because not all of things will be clear and be able to understand. And even if you read it, you are not going to practice all of them. What we do, even though we read how in the ants Jada Bharat is behaving, I have to put spray all around my tulsi plants to save from the ants. I have to kill them in one way or other. Putting ants mean prevention. Means when they come, we put cockroach bat and all. We are living in household life, so we have to live with that situation. We cannot just say, then how will they will bite us? The whole ants, the whole cockroach, the whole thing will create problem. We are not in a, we cannot introduce the principles or tenets of Mahabhagavat to a level of where we are doing Kanishtadhikaris. We must understand our position. We are not at that stage and we need to act accordingly. So don't try to use one or two characteristics or activities of a Mahabhagavat on your own. We are not there. We need to understand we are not there. It is not about imitation of, oh, I go by seeing an ant here and there. It may be good knowledge, but at the same time, we are doing all nonsense. We are violent toward other devotees, even. We are violent towards others. So, what's the point? Better to be friendly towards devotees who are living beings, helping to the people. Then you come to the stage of ants or bacteria and all. You are being so much of fake analysis with the ants and all, but at the same time you are becoming so envious, so cruel, so violent towards devotees. What's the point? Right? So first start with your family, your friends, your devotees. That is more important. Then you go to the next level. Otherwise, you take some examples and say, Prabhupada said this, you do this, Prabhupada said this. Nobody is going to do all the things. Unless you come, there are many things are granted by the Lord. It's not acquired. So there are some of the things we cannot by a dint of austerity acquire it. Some of the things are by mercy of the Lord comes. So that's why we have to know that what is coming from the mercy of the Lord. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right. So let's little bit go through this thing. Okay. All right. Can somebody read one paragraph?
I can read.
Yeah.
Verses 1 through 8. King Rahugana, ruler of states known as Sindhu and Sovira, was going to Kapilashram. A carrier of King Rahugana's palanquin was needed. And to fulfill this need, the chief carriers found fulfill this need, the chief carriers found Jada Bharat as the most likely person to do the work. He was therefore forced to carry the palanquin. Jada Bharat, however, did not protest this proud order, but humbly accepted the job and carried the palanquin. While carrying it, however, he was very careful to see that he did not step on an ant. And whenever he saw one, he would stop until the ant had passed. Because of this, he could not keep pace with the other carriers. The king within the palanquin became very disturbed and chastised Jada Bharat with filthy language. But Jada Bharat, being completely freed from the bodily consumption, did not protest. He proceeded carrying the palanquin as before. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Someone read the next one.
Verses
Verses
9.
9 to 25. King then threatened him with punishment. Being threatened by the king, Jad Bharat began to talk. He protested against the filthy language used by the king when the king chastised him. And the king, hearing the instructions of Jad Bharat, was awakened to his real knowledge. He descended from his palanquin and fell flat on the ground with his head at the lotus feet of Jad Bharat. At that time, he very humbly and respectfully prayed to Jad Bharat. He now wanted to understand the deep meaning of the philosophical words used by Jad Bharat. With great sincerity, he begged his pardon. He admitted that if one offends the lotus feet of a pure devotee, he is certainly punished by the trident of Lord Shiva.
Thank you. One offends the lotus feet of pure devotee is certainly punished by the trident of Lord Shiva. So analogies are given. 12. We are gathered together like straws floating in the waves of an ocean, straws that are inevitably separated by the laws of the waves. In this matter, while everyone is floating on the waves of the ocean of nations. 17. When a mad elephant enters a garden, it spoils all the fruits and flowers. Similarly, if one offends a Vaishnava, he spoils all his spiritual assets. So one has to know what is an offense also, because that is very important to know what is exactly why. You may claim yourself, I'm not offending anyone, but sometimes by our behavior, by our words, by our things, somebody may be offended, but what can be done? 22. It can be said that a person sitting in his car is certainly different from his car. But if there is a damage to the car, the owner of the car being overly attached to the car feels pain. Actually, the damage done to the car has nothing to do with the car's proprietor. But because the proprietor has identified himself with the interest of the car, he feels pleasure and pain connected with it. This conditional state can be avoided if attachment is withdrawn from the car. Then the proprietor would not feel pleasure or pain if the car is damaged or whatever. Similarly, the soul has nothing to do with the body and the senses, but due to ignorance, he identifies himself with the body, and he feels pleasure and pain due to bodily pleasure and pain. So, this is so much of things Prabhupada always gives the example. There are 12 questions in this chapter. Why should a Vaishnava be compassionate towards animals? It's very, very essential. That's what we are vegetarian. We are not eating meat. And but we are at the same time plant killer. Least 4 ways can a king interact with his subordinates. How he offended and how the king should really interact. Not only the king, even the manager, how they should, even the temple president, even the GVC or the leader, how they should interact with their subordinates. It's very important to read this one, not feel the language, body language like this to be used. Why was Jad Bharat unaffected by these sarcastic words of the king? Because of his spiritual platform. But are you? When somebody criticizes, what do, Chandravadan Prabhu? You feel offended, right?
Yes, that is a problem.
Of course, because we carry our own
Stage.
material pride, and also we feel like immediately we are going to shoot him down with words and but try to better to remain calm for some time at least. Let the pain heal by the called time. Then you react immediately, then you will be in problem. Why do devotees perform penances and austerities? You may say devotees are, the casual and all, but that is necessary for them to perform penances and austerities. List some of the transformations of the metal covering that Jada mentions. What are the consequences of having no self-realization and knowledge? No self-realization, become like an animal. Describe the factors which determine what type of body we can get next, right? Are you sure that we are going to get a human being? Are you sure that we are going to be liberated? Are you sure we are not going to get any animal body? So how do you determine? How does a devotee deal with reverses? By attacking back, by doing lawsuit?
It
How
is
do
the
you?
Lord's mercy.
Yeah, but do you think there are people who become revengeful?
It's hard to tolerate a lot of things, Prabhu, but sometimes staying calm will help, but then at some point, because we are not elevated enough, we have to vent out somewhere, I guess. So that happens with me.
Yeah, because we are ordinary human being. So
Yeah.
we have to respond ordinarily. How can extraordinary things would come from an ordinary person
Right.
unless we acquire some extraordinary qualities from an extraordinary person like the Supreme Lord? We are reading, I was giving a class this Tuesday, Bhagavatam class, and it is saying this Srimad Bhagavatam that how the thing will come. Prahlad Maharaj was talking in Canto 7, and he's saying, Deva and Deva Ashura Manava Yaksha Rakshasa Gandharva Bhajan Mukunda Charanam Swastir Vachanam Tava Vayam. That means he was saying in that one, what I remember the verse is, you become either a demon, a demigod, a human being, a yaksha or rakshasa or gandharvas, bhajan mukunda charanam. That is the key part of the things. Then swasti vachanam means the swasti means auspiciousness will flourish in your heart and in your words. Do you give auspicious language to others? When you go to the office, you say that, manager was so bad, that guy was so bad, he was fired, this, da, da, da. We talk gossiping, right? Is it swasti vachana or swasti vachanam? So that's the thing. How do you reverse the thing? Describe some of the characteristics of the Vedic kings, 15, and explain the term Suklal. What is Suklal? 16. We have to check that. I may be mistaken or typo. Describe the soul's connection with matter and how do you counteract offenses to devotees. This is very important to know. This chapter is about reversal, tolerance. The whole Trinadi Visunijana can be learned from this chapter. A Vaishnava is never envious of unnecessarily violent. A highly advanced Vaishnava is a friend to his enemies also. And devotee never accuses a Lord of putting him into a distressed condition. When one commits an offense to a Vaishnava, one must immediately apologize. One must immediately apologize. At least you start developing compassion towards that Vaishnavas. Not from him getting the compassionate. We criticize, mainly comes from it's by criticism. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, criticism is like poison and appreciation is like amrit. So in order to counteract the poison, you have to use amrit, which is appreciate. Every devotee, everyone has some qualities and techniques. We should always try to appreciate than finding faults and other things. That's the key part of the life. Because you need to calculate on 100 years life you have given, how many times you have appreciated devotees and how many times you have criticized. If your weightage is more criticism, haha, in the Nikti, the Taraju, right? Then you said, okay, you sit down, Chandravadan Prabhuji one side and his appreciation is more than he will be likely floating in the air. Somebody there, he will be dragged towards down. So we have to learn how not to criticize too much in any situation, because you are counting, our weightage are increasing day and day. That's the main thing. Okay, I think that's all from this chapter. So next is 10 and 11. 11 and 12, right? By Venugita. Can you check with her, Sajjada Prabhuji? Can you send an email or text in the group today?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
11 and
Is this,
12. Huh?
is this file saved? This chapter 10, that summary that you did?
What did you say? Did I save it?
Yeah, is this file saved? Because I was looking at the questions. I think only summary 1 through chapter 1 through 6 is saved on the Google Drive.
Yeah, no. Once it is done, I'm going to probably next week or the following week, I'll put it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, the next file is not saved yet in the Google Drive, so it'll be done.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So 20th, 11th, 12th, then 27th is a holiday. Then again, December 1st week, 13th. Then we go for second week, the review, right? So the review time, we can do the quiz. I don't know, but December we'll do the quiz, second or third week, whatever you like. Okay. You can vote for it, either second week or third week. We can do the quiz. Oh, then we are done with half of 5th canto. It's very nice, very fast. 6th canto will go much faster. 5th canto is going faster also. Okay. So we divided the group also for group exercise. Please pay attention. And also the task is given in our Google Drive roster. Right, Sajjada Prabhuji, please prepare for that. So it will be only one group exercise. So it'll be nice. And one quiz, I said, right? No more 2 quiz, only 1 quiz. That's good. 1 closed book exam, 1 quiz. Only you are presenting 2 times.
Yeah,
And
because
wherever
December 18th you mentioned to us.
quiz. Okay. December 18th will be the quiz. And you have 2 presentations. I will select the one which you'll score higher. That will be only 1. Okay, that's good. Then any other questions? Everyone good?
So part A and B, and next week is Venugita Mataji.
Yeah, next week is Venugita, right? 11, 12.
Yes.
So you need to, in the chat, send a reminder to her whether she's prepared to do the presentation. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya, Kripa Sindhubhyavacha, Patitanam Bhavinebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo,
Namo Nama. Jai Shri
Jagat
Krishna
Guru Srila
Chaitanya Prabhu
Prabhupada ki
Nityananda
jai.
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram